Good afternoon and welcome to the Daily Community Briefing on WBON. I'm Gwendolyn Morton. Daily Community Briefing, we're going to bring you lots of great news starting right now with a sad story out of Madison County. An accident that occurred today heading towards Waco has resulted in the death of one man. Coroner from Madison County, Joni Cornelison, tells WBONTV that the deceased has been identified as Dwight D. Stanzel of Charlie Norris Road in Richmond. He was traveling east on Highway 52 and was turning left onto Greens Crossing Road when he was struck by a vehicle heading westbound on the Irvin Road. The victim was alone in his vehicle, according to Cornelison. The other driver was in a truck pulling a trailer and did not seem to need medical assistance, according to the coroner. Well, a Kentucky state lawmaker who is facing criminal charges for allegedly choking his wife amidst a domestic dispute back in 2020 has now officially resigned. State Republican Representative Robert Goforth submitted a letter Tuesday to the governor's office and the House Speaker's office announcing his departure effective immediately. He wrote that family and personal matters are demanding his full attention. Goforth faces strangulation and assault charges stemming from a 2020 domestic dispute where he allegedly hogtied his wife with an Ethernet cable, according to police. Despite the charges, Goforth was re-elected by a wide margin by another 2-year term last year in his rural district, which includes a portion of Madison County. Officials say a special election will now take place. Well, a new boil water advisory from Richmond Utilities, a boil water advisory, has been issued for the residents of Armitage Drive, Shale Drive, and Terry Lane. We'll let you know when more information is available about that. Well, now that COVID cases are surging all across the Commonwealth, with currently only one county in the orange designation for incidence rates of the virus, WBONTV spoke with Dr. Eric Gregonis, Chief Medical Officer at Baptist Health Richmond, to dispel some myths. A lot of confusion seems to be stemming from the new Delta variant that seems to be affecting younger populations and is known to be exponentially more contagious. To get the full story, Dr. Gregonis spoke with our news director, Marissa Hempel.
Those who've been watching the news well know that there's a surge in COVID cases, a lot of which have been attributed to the new Delta variant of COVID-19. However, some confusion may exist as to what this variant actually means. To get some clarification, WBONTV spoke to Chief Medical Officer at Baptist Health Richmond, Dr. Erica Gregonis.
I tell people all the time that viruses, their goal is to continue to live, just like any other living thing. So they're always changing and trying to adapt to evade our immune system, or maybe even, kind of hide itself from our immune system. So every time that it changes, they get different strains. And unfortunately, this Delta strain is much more clinically relevant because we're seeing a lot more infections. And when people are infected, we're noticing that they are a lot more likely to transmit the disease to others.
Gregonis also expounds upon the fact that it seems that this variant is even more highly contagious than the original COVID-19 virus.
It's different because when a virus gets into your body, one of the things that it wants to do is it wants to what we call shed the virus, meaning you have emitting virus particles. Usually when we cough, when we sneeze, through our respiratory tract, because that's where this virus affects. And we're transmitting so many more virus particles with this variant than we were in previous ones. And so one of the things that we look at sometimes when we talk about transmissibility or how, contagious a disease is, we'll talk about, okay, if one person gets infected with COVID, in our original strain, they might infect 2 more people. With this newer Delta strain, we're seeing that some of the studies are saying that can infect up to 6 people. So obviously there's a big difference in how contagious this variant is.
Also seen in recent data, it appears that more younger generations, especially school-age children, are being infected with the virus.
That has been proposed that there's a lot more likely to affect younger people, but I've also seen just as many articles saying that when you kind of look at the data, it's still about 12 to 15% of all COVID cases are pediatrics and only 3 to 4% of hospitalizations. The problem is because Delta is so overwhelming in numbers, we're starting to notice that we see a lot more of those patients. It's hard because pediatric patients, they aren't able to get immunized, so they don't have that protection either. So we may be seeing less of the elderly generation because some of those were the first ones to get vaccinated and therefore a little bit more protected from this Delta variant.
Protection for younger generations may be on the way, however the trials are still in their infancy. However, Gregonis says she does not know when those trials will be approved so younger children can get vaccinated.
I do know that I think people realize that time is of the essence and that we want to make sure we get out the vaccine when we know it's safe.
Gregonis then goes on to explain why there is some speculation as to the testing to differentiate between the Delta variant and COVID-19.
It's going to be a positive or negative test, right? A COVID test. It's not always going to tell them whether it's the Delta variant or not, but anytime a new strain comes out and is identified by the research labs, they test the kits on the market, the testing kits for COVID, to make sure that they'll pick up those. So we know they're picking up the Delta variant, but you're just not going to get a test result that says, hey, you have Delta variant versus what other variant it may be.
Finally, she explains that Baptist Health Richmond is just as overwhelmed as other area hospitals, and the healthcare workers are suffering as well.
We're definitely seeing an increase in cases. I definitely see the doctors and the nurses really working overtime along with everyone else. It's not just the clinicians at the bedside that are having to work to help take care of this increase in cases. It's everyone from our environmental services workers to dietary to help feed them. Obviously, it is putting a strain on the hospital. We're committed to continue to take care of the patients in our community, but we have to remember we also have not only the COVID increase cases that we're dealing with, but we also still have to take care of patients that have other disease processes as well. And we're doing everything we can to try to use our resources appropriately and making sure we can take care of everybody that does walk through our doors. I would just say that at this point, if you haven't gotten vaccinated, please reconsider. I think from a physician's standpoint, it's very difficult for us to not be able to cure a disease. We don't have great treatments. We can only do supportive care at this point for this. But, the healthcare community is working tirelessly to take care of this community, but we really need your help. The one thing that we can do to fight this disease now is get vaccinated, because if we get vaccinated, we decrease the number of hosts for this virus and try to get this virus out of the population.
Stay tuned as WBONTV will continue to update the public regarding these changes occurring during the pandemic straight from the healthcare officials. For WBONTV.com and Channel 9 News, I'm Marissa Hempel.
Thanks, Marissa, for that story. Lots of good update information there on the COVID virus. Well, in an email to students, Berea College President Lyle Roloffs announced students who test positive for the coronavirus could face withdrawal for this semester. The new policy explained that testing positive requires a 10-day quarantine, and without the ability to go to classes during that time, a student could have trouble completing those courses. Therefore, they may need to withdraw and return home. Roloffs also noted there will be no financial consequences and that student could return the following semester. Well, during last night's City Commission meeting, the city now officially has a new police chief and assistant chief. The City Commission named Rodney Richardson as the city's new police chief and William O'Donnell the new assistant chief. Both Richardson and O'Donnell were pinned during a ceremony in front of the commission, and they will take on their roles on September the 6th. Also discussed at the meeting, city officials heard the first reading of an ordinance that would seek to accomplish Sunday alcohol sales. The new ordinance would permit packaged and individual alcoholic drink sales on Sunday and allow bars to be open as well if they do not serve food. However, there was no discussion by the commission on the matter after it was brought to the motion to be discussed. The commission will vote on the second reading after their next regularly scheduled commission meeting at the town hall in 2 weeks. Well, a Scott County jury has found Anthony Gray guilty of 2 counts of murder for the deaths of his parents, James and Vivian Gray, which occurred back in 2007. This is the 3rd time Gray has gone on trial, as Gray's first trial ended with a mistrial, and his conviction in the second trial was overturned as a result of how police got his confession. The Commonwealth's attorney told the jury that James and Vivian Gray weren't just killed. They added that they were executed by the same gun. The defense told the jury that the prosecution had the wrong guy, presenting a mountain of evidence to create reasonable doubt in that case. And with that, we're going to go to our first break of the day. We'll be right back with more news and COVID numbers here on WBON.
Davis & Powell Funeral Home in Berea. From our attention to detail, a diverse staff, and the best aftercare in the business, there's no better local choice to take care of your family in a difficult time than Davis & Powell. Call in to discuss pre-planning and preparations so there'll be no additional burden on your family. Davis & Powell Funeral Home in Berea. For additional information, check them out at davisandpowellfuneralhome.com. Davis & Powell Funeral Home, always going the extra mile.
The mission at H2 Health is to create a healthcare environment where their employees and clients love to be. They offer a wide range of services including physical therapy, occupational therapy, a chronic pain program, wellness and fitness programs, dry needling, and more. H2 Health is here to get you back in the game and feeling your best with locations in Richmond, Berea, and more. Visit h2health.com to learn more and get started today at H2 Health.
Granite, marble, and quartz for any surface. Make a lifetime commitment you won't regret.
Donate or shop at the new location for the Habitat Restore in Madison County. The proceeds from the Habitat Restore go towards helping build a home for someone in need. Shop, donate, or volunteer at the new location for the Habitat Restore in the old CVS Pharmacy building on Main Street in Richmond.
You know when you step outside and it feels absolutely perfect? The air's not too warm, not too cool, just perfection? Now imagine if you could have that same feeling inside your home at a price that feels even better. You can, thanks to the folks at Affordable Heating and Air. Call 859-779-0122 now and get the best Lennox home comfort systems at a price you'll love. That's Affordable Heating and Air at 859-779-0122 or online at affordableheating-air.com.
When I started to experience the world from practicing law, it showed me that there's a lot of injustice that can be corrected. We're called personal injury attorneys, but I'm not there for the injury, I'm there for the recovery. And that's what we try to do. We try to help people recover after they've been hurt. If the big firms are going to drop you as soon as your claim entails some kind of work, some kind of additional effort, why not just come to someone who's going to put the work in the first place?
Drug use has impacted everyone in our community. The Madison Opioid Response and Empowerment Program is working hard to create lasting change. Join Kentucky River Foothills on August 25th for the More Empowerment Conference via Zoom webinar. Governor Andy Beshear will provide opening remarks, followed by Kentucky's Public Health Commissioner Dr. Stephen Stack. This conference will spotlight what our local leaders are doing to combat the issue and features many experts from our community in the field of addiction. To register for free, visit foothillscap.org.
The Old West, the way you remember it. Good guys and bad guys.
Come and join us as we watch and talk about the best of the West.
Western movies, TV shows, and more.
Draw Western Theater, Saturdays at 1 p.m.
Here on Richmond's very own Channel 9.
Welcome back to the Daily Community Briefing on WBON. I'm Gwendolyn Morton. Starting out with Ephraim McDowell on this segment, COVID-19 has once again hit a local hospital especially hard. Ephraim McDowell Regional Medical Center in Danville reports that 8 people have died from the COVID over the past weekend. Officials from the hospital report that they have been overwhelmed to the point that their morgue capacity is not sufficient. The officials say the situation is so dire that the hospital attempted to rent a refrigeration truck to aid in this situation. In a video statement used by the officials in Danville, Governor Andy Beshear pointed out that the overwhelming majority of the patients in the hospital are not vaccinated and urged viewers once again to get vaccinated. Well, yet another homegrown Kentucky company is expanding in the Commonwealth. As of today, Governor Andy Beshear congratulated Thoroughbred Aviation Maintenance on the opening of its new consolidated headquarters operations in Lexington's Bluegrass Airport, a project creating up to 47 full-time jobs over the next 3 years with an $800,000 investment. Rocky Adkins, Governor Beshear's senior advisor, attended Wednesday's ribbon cutting at the new location, which will consolidate TAM's existing presence at Bluegrass Airport, where it has operated since 2018 when the company acquired Mustang Aviation. TAM maintains and services all inbound and departing commercial flights in Lexington, currently employing 18 people. Company leaders expect the new operation to add 10 positions over the next 12 months, with target employment of 65 full-time staff members within 3 years. Jobs created by this project include aircraft technicians, sheet metal specialists, avionics, and administrative positions. TAM recently partnered with Bluegrass Community and Technical College to capitalize on its apprenticeship program and create a local talent pipeline. The company's new headquarters at the Bluegrass Airport is in addition to the locations in Richmond and Big Sandy Regional Airport in Martin County, which opened in 2017. TAM also maintains a facility at the Huntington Tri-State Airport in West Virginia and on-call facilities in Danville and Somerset. Well, Tuesday, the Madison County Fiscal Court met in regular session where they approved the 2021 Valorum tax. Judge Executive Reagan Taylor said in the meeting that this year's rate will represent a tax decrease of around $4. Of the $76 the county receives, the money is split among the schools, health department, library, ambulance, extension office, and the county and the state. Baptist Health Richmond is temporarily suspended elective procedures beginning Thursday, August the 26th for the next 14 days. Urgent and emergency procedures will still be performed. The suspension of these elective procedures is attributed to the increase of the COVID-19 cases at Baptist Health Richmond, largely due to the Delta variant, which spreads more quickly and easily than the original virus, and the number of people who remain unvaccinated. The clinical leadership at our hospital is monitoring the scope of procedures that fall into the categories of elective, urgent, and emergency procedures, said Dr. Erica Gregonis, MD, Baptist Health Richmond Medical Officer. Our medical experts will be making these decisions while maintaining the best interest of our patients' well-being and safety. Elective procedures are defined as those that are necessary but can be delayed for 30 days without significant risk or harm to the patient. Urgent cases will generally include procedures that cannot wait 30 days without significant risk to patient, but in each case ultimately will be determined by the judgment of the physicians in cooperation with the medical staff leadership at each facility. Emergency cases are those that could result in the loss of life, limb, or organ or permanent disability if postponed. So these will be done as always. They have been done as quickly as possible. We're taking steps to protect our patients while working to conserve resources, equipment, and clinical staff to care for the most urgent and time-sensitive patient needs, Dr. Gregonis said. Well, in Powell County, Governor Andy Beshear presented a ceremonial check for $1,205,000 from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, representing the administration's commitment to a pair of highway safety projects that will reduce traffic congestion and alleviate backups in the vicinity of the Powell County schools. Governor Beshear also presented another ceremonial check for $524,700, representing discretionary funding for resurfacing sections of 7 county roadways. As a governor, but also as a parent, the safety of our school children is always in mind, said Governor Beshear. The ceremonial check represents more than the cost of engineering and materials. It represents a high priority to all of us on Team Kentucky, making streets and roads safer around and near our schools. The majority of the school safety funding, $1,155,000, is to pay for the design and construction construction of a turning lane and related work on Kentucky Highway 2073, locally known as Halls Lane, which connects the main entrance to Powell County High School and Powell County Middle School. The remaining $50,000 will pay for badly needed pavement stripping and curb work at an intersection near Stanton Elementary School that has been prone to congestion, which crashes as a predictable consequence. Also in Powell County Tuesday, Powell County Search and Rescue celebrated the opening of the Dawn Fig Aid Station at Middle Fork Campground in the Red River Gorge. The aid station is equipped to assess injuries as well as treat minor ones, but it's also meant to be a learning center. It's all to make the Red River Gorge a safer place for campers and hikers alike. The center was named to honor United States Forest Ranger Don Fig, who served as a United States Forest Ranger in the Red River Gorge for over 50 years. He is remembered not only as an advocate for the safe enjoyment of the outdoors, but also a mentor and friend to the community. Well, students across the state have already returned or are getting ready to return to the classroom, but a recent study shows kids are 4 to 5 months behind their education due to the pandemic. The study also indicates children need normalcy in their daily routines. The Save the Children's Rural Education Program says parents can go to savethechildren.org to find more tips on helping their kids feel safe and secure and stay engaged in learning. With that, we're going to go to our second break of the day. We'll be right back with that incidents map and more COVID news from around the state.
Davis & Powell Funeral Home in Berea. From our attention to detail, a diverse staff, and the best aftercare in the business, there's no better local choice to take care of your family in a difficult time than Davis & Powell. Call in to discuss pre-planning and preparations so there'll be no additional burden on your family. Davis & Powell Funeral Home in Berea. For additional information, check them out at davisandpowellfuneralhome.com. Davis & Powell Funeral Home, always going the extra mile.
The mission at H2 Health is to create a healthcare environment where their employees and clients love to be. They offer a wide range of services including physical therapy, occupational therapy, a chronic pain program, wellness and fitness programs, dry needling, and more. H2 Health is here to get you back in the game and feeling your best with locations in Richmond, Berea, and more. Visit h2health.com to learn more and get started today at H2 Health.
Granite, marble, and quartz for any surface. Make a lifetime commitment you won't regret.
Donate or shop at the new location for the Habitat Restore in Madison County. The proceeds from the Habitat Restore go towards helping build a home for someone in need. Shop, donate, or volunteer at the new location for the Habitat Restore in the old CVS Pharmacy building on Main Street in Richmond.
You know when you step outside and it feels absolutely perfect? The air's not too warm, not too cool, just perfection? Now imagine if you could have that same feeling inside your home at a price that feels even better. You can, thanks to the folks at Affordable Heating and Air. Call 859-779-0122 now and get the best Lennox home comfort systems at a price you'll love. That's Affordable Heating and Air at 859-779-0122 or online at affordableheating-air.com.
When I started to experience the world from practicing law, it showed me that there's a lot of injustice that can be corrected. We're called personal injury attorneys, but I'm not there for the injury, I'm there for the recovery. And that's what we try to do. We try to help people recover after they've been hurt. If the big firms are going to drop you as soon as your claim entails some kind of work, some kind of additional effort, why not just come to someone who's going to put the work in the first place?
Drug use has impacted everyone in our community. The Madison Opioid Response and Empowerment Program is working hard to create lasting change. Join Kentucky River Foothills on August 25th for the More Empowerment Conference via Zoom webinar. Governor Andy Beshear will provide opening remarks, followed by Kentucky's Public Health Commissioner Dr. Stephen Stack. This conference will spotlight what our local leaders are doing to combat the issue and features many experts from our community in the field of addiction. To register for free, visit foothillscap.org.
The Old West, the way you remember it. Good guys and bad guys.
Come and join us as we watch and talk about the best of the West.
Western movies, TV shows, and more.
Draw Western Theater, Saturdays at 1 p.m.
Here on Richmond's very own Channel 9.
Welcome back to the Daily Community Briefing. I'm Gwendolyn Morton, and this is WBON Channel 9. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the incidence rate across the state. When we left you yesterday, we only had one orange county, and that county has been able to remain orange overnight. They did jump quite a bit, and they were quite a bit closer to that red category. They were at 13.6 yesterday. Today, we find them at 20.3, and that is Robertson County. That is up in the northern part of the state. All of the rest of the state does remain orange. Some of those counties that were very, very high yesterday, Clay yesterday was at 219. They have seen a small decrease in numbers, 194 now for Clay. Yesterday, Laurel was at 154, today at 153, just a very slight decrease there. Some of the other big hitters across the state, Owsley at 148, Lee at 119, Wolf at 129, Powell 108, Estill County 116, Jackson County 167. That's kind of a big cluster all the way over there in the eastern part of the state. Also Bell County at 161 and Knott at 119. Whitley County 167. All of those really big numbers. Floyd County 104. Floyd County at 140. Johnson at 104. All the way going over to the other side of the state, the western side of the state, they are staying a little bit lower in their numbers. Looks like Carlisle 33, Hickman 35, Fulton 33, and Ballard 50. If you'll remember, Carlisle, Hickman, and Fulton County did stay in the yellow and the orange for a long time after the rest of the state started to go orange. Another big number over there, Henderson County at 111. They were at 97 yesterday, a big jump for them. Webster County, a smaller jump, but still significant, 120 yesterday. Today we find them at 126.9. Like I said, lots of big numbers. A few smaller numbers in the 30s is about the lowest that you're going to find, with the exception of Robertson County. Let's see, Kenton 39, Campbell 35. That's about it for the 30s, it looks like. Martin County, all the way over in the eastern part of the state, 34.5. But as I've said, most of the state is red at this time, with that one exception. The overall incidence rate for Kentucky did go up a little bit overnight. We were at 74.01 when we left you yesterday. Today we find ourselves at 76.89. The total number of cases used in the calculations, 547,648 cases. If you're not feeling well, there's plenty of opportunities to go out and get tested. Today you can be tested at the Berea Municipal Garage until 5:30. Also the Big Hill Christian Church until 5:30 as well. Tomorrow, McKee White House Clinic from 9 to 5:30, Richmond Big Hill Christian Church from 9 to 5:30, and Mount Vernon White House Clinic from 9 to 5. Friday, Richmond Big Hill Church, 9 to 5:30, and of course Lancaster gets in on the fun on Fridays at the Garrett County Health Department, and they test from 1 to 5. Always open on Saturdays, the Richmond White House Clinic, and that is from 9 to 1 every Saturday. More information, 1-855-WHAPPTS, or you can check out their socials, Facebook, White House Clinics, also Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget there's no out-of-pocket cost. All you have to do is bring a photo ID and an insurance card if you have it. If you don't have insurance, they'll still test you. Vaccine sites available all across central Kentucky: McKee, Mount Vernon, Berea, Irvin, Richmond, and Berea Primary Care. Anyone above the age of 12 is eligible for that free vaccination and can get it anytime you want. Lots of breaking news throughout the day today here in Madison County. If you want breaking news right on your phone, we got you covered. All you got to do is text WBON to 77,000. News, traffic, weather, we got it all right there for you. And with that, we're going to say goodbye for today. We'll be right back here tomorrow for our Thursday edition of the Daily Community Briefing at 3 o'clock. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.